I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League, where they try to convince me that they've been coached by professional coaches and they're professional football players. But week in, week out, I have my doubts more and more of how bad the standard is now dropping across football everywhere. But here we are. Right, watch this. Just watch this, right? You think about how simple the game of football is. There's the little magic round thing. He's got to go and pick it up. Right, one of these players out here. One of these players has to go towards the ball. What do you think his first action is going to be? Is he going to go towards the ball? Is he going to run past the ball? Or is he going to run away from the ball? Running away from the football might not be the thing that you think that's going to happen, right? Let's have a look. Oh, yep, he does. He starts to run away from the football. Yep, he runs past it. Yep, yeah. It amazes me how simple it is. If he just goes towards the ball, he shuts down that space ever so slightly, so it makes it harder and harder to pass the ball. If you don't go towards them and you shut down that space, they get to make really, really simple passes, right? Let me give you an example right here. So you've probably heard people talking about passing patterns and all that sort of nonsense, right? Okay, well, that comes from when you're doing certain training sessions, you run them over and over and over again, that those patterns just happen to creep into the game of football because you've run them so many times. You accidentally do it. It's muscle memory, right? So let's just look at the passing pattern that these guys have got here. Well, they don't really have one. So there's a 3. So you would know if you were playing, if this was a training session, right? You've got all the players that want to win the ball on the outside of the circle. You would think one of these players here would identify that they'd have to stand in the middle there, right? And cover that space. You just straight away, you just be able to go, oh yeah, I can see that straight away. Especially with a hit like him, they can just go stomp straight in there. Why is that important? Because then what you'd have is you'd have 1, 2, 3 players. This pass can't happen, right? Simple, bosh, there it goes, out he goes. Everyone from Leicester stood there like that. Shuffle to the right, shuffle to the left. And the magic round thing just gets passed straight over to them simply. Don't worry, it's out wide now. We promise you we will pressure the football to stop the ball coming in. Now, you know I've tell you quite often. So now one of my professional diplomas from Advanced Tactics and Analysis from FC Barcelona. Yes, your boy Cash has got lots of qualifications. The most over the last couple of years, 50% of goals don't have pressure on the ball, and that's it's going up higher and higher and higher and higher because no one goes to pressure the football. Same thing happens right here for this goal. As we move this forward, look, Bosch, no one is anywhere near, and he just gets to cross the football. There's no one trying to stop the cross, no one trying to go to the cross, no one trying to stop the ball. Just look at where they are in relation now after the ball's been crossed. Because they've only just turned around and looked. They haven't actually been able to do anything. And this is awful as well. Richarlison manages to run between 2 defenders. He's one of the worst strikers in the Premier League. Manages to get himself a goal because these 2 clowns here switch off and let him sneaky on in. Shocking. In the ball comes Dosh, and he does crash into the post. Richarlison is one of those players I don't like. There's a lot of players I don't like, to be honest, as well, though. I just don't like it. Just don't like Richarlison. Crashes into the post. Beats those 2 defenders just because, honestly, they're not paying any attention. If they are, they would not allow that striker to split both of them, get in between both of them, and get on the end of that cross. And all the time in the world to watch that ball come in. Yeah, it's shocking. Let's move it on, though. All those times I'm yelling at people to go and pressure the ball, and now I'm going to tell them not to go and do it. Right, there is a time and a place, and there is different things you have to do, right? So you also have to understand and identify when you do pressure or when you do track. And what I mean track is you're dropping at the same pace that this guy's coming. You want to be going back in there, okay? If this guy pressures the football there, all this guy's got to do, he's got an option to pass it there, to bypass him and him play it in there. He's got an option just to play it straight down. It gives him lots of options. So his body shape is very, very important. If he comes in and pressures too quick, he'll just go straight to there and around him. Now that might mean he can pressure, keep his run going and put the ball there, but he can just give it back and go that way, right? Because he's not really cutting out the passing lane, all right? So because of his body shape, if he's making a bit more, because he doesn't have the time. So what I mean by his body shape is he's kind of running flat like this, where he really want to run like a bit curved like that, but he doesn't have the time because the ball's so close to him, right? So when he does get there, though, watch. Stand still. Soon as he stood still like that, all he's going to do is get the ball passed straight behind him into the space. If he just carried on tracking ever so slightly, dropping off, because he has to here, he can't really pressure the ball here, unfortunately, because there's support next to him, right? As soon as he goes, it's just going to get knocked on. So there's no covering player behind him, which is the more important thing, actually. Way more important than him being able to knock it on is the fact that he really needs to be worried about the space, not the ball, because the ball's not dangerous there. That space is, and there's no Spursy player covering it. And this guy hasn't read the situation, and because right now he should be understanding there's no player for him to watch in this area here, right? So he doesn't need to worry about that, but he does need to worry about that player there because this guy's completely and utterly out of position and stepped too far forward. So now as we move this forward, you'll just see he's just gone straight behind him and he's still stood still. Still stood still. That makes no sense. Oh, one thing I do like in this move as well is Leicester's got a player dead on the floor over here and they just carry on playing football. Well done. That's what you should do. Roll him off, carry on, play the game. Yeah, he'll be all right. This thing about stopping every time someone, falls over or don't. Just play the game, play football. And that's what ends up opening up this space over here, just because they're getting their little shape pressuring the ball wrong over, and they're just doing things in the wrong time. They're pressuring when they should be dropping, and but there we go. Let's just move it on ever so slightly for a cross to the best striker ever in the world, Jamie Vardy. As you all know, I do like Jamie Vardy. I do just like it the way that he's just a troll. It's brilliant. It's just a troll. I'm going to show you in a minute where he taps on his Premier League badge and goes 1, looks at the Spurs fans and goes 0, to how many Premier Leagues they've got. You need a bit of that in football. You do. I do think the keeper goes down a little bit too early here though as well, and Jamie Vardy just volleys it into the net box, gets himself another Premier League goal. If he did make sound effects, he would have got extra points. So I see if I can find that thing where he points at the crowd. Here we go. This is him. 1 Premier League, them 0. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yeah, well done, Jamie Vardy, causing trouble everywhere you go. So if you watch my coaching session from last Monday about doing rondos and stuff, you'll understand exactly what I'm about to point out. His shoulders and his body shape, that's the way he's facing. When you pass him the football, the only place this guy can pass the football is back to you, because his body shape is awful, right? He's shut off all of that side of the field. That's the only place that he can see. This is the only place he can pass the ball to, right? That's it. So when you pass that ball in there, you've basically isolated him, really. Okay. So when you're doing it, there's a couple of options, right? You can do the old turn. So when you whiz the ball in, you're telling him to turn and get out the other side, right? Which he can do because he does have space here to turn into. But more an annoyance than just that is the actual pace at which the ball goes off in the first place. Watch this. Look how casual that is. That's the reason they end up losing the ball, is because the pass isn't actually passed to him. Yeah, his body shape's wrong. Yeah, it means he can only really pass the ball back. But the pass into him is so bad. It's just asking for trouble. Now, Spurs is just so awful at the minute. Look at how open that midfield is right there. Okay. Remember, Spurs has got the ball here. They're looking to go and try to do something in the attack or do whatever. But in the midfield area, there isn't a single Spurs player in the middle of the field. Not one. So when they do lose the ball and you're going on this transition now, you're expecting, okay, someone's going to come back and help or do something. Well, there isn't anybody. I mean, how are you playing this open? No wonder you're losing against teams like Leicester. This is just awful. I won't be surprised if they sack Ange Postecoglou by the end of the week. You can't play like this. You're lucky you've only lost 2-1. You're just going to get exposed. So this is where it gets awful again. Now, because they're so stretched, look, he's going with the runner instead of actually being with the ball. And here's the other problem. If he had stayed with the ball, this pass wouldn't have been able to open up. And of course, there's nobody in the middle of the field there to stop this kiddie as well. So all it is a simple little, oh God, I can't even find the play button. Knocks it out. Look how slow and casual it is. How much time he's got to receive the ball. Still not a Spursy player anywhere near him. He just gets to walk down and kick it into the goal. From here, nothing gets in his way. He just walks and kicks it into the goal. Yeah, shocking. The defenders right here could be squeezing and just getting right on him and getting tight. Because remember, he's walked from here. He's walked from here He's gone lurly, 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 lur, and you've gone, run away. You've got to get a little bit closer. You want to be able to to be able to block or do something. You know, there's no other player behind you, right? Okay, he's got Jamie Vardy. You can make that looping run and you can link up with him that way. But the other defender can deal with that. One of you has to deal with the football, because if you don't deal with the football, what you end up doing is just tapping it into the corner. I mean, it's a bad shot as well. It just like skips along the floor into the corner. Spurs might be in a relegation battle with Manchester United at this rate. But other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.